Okay, is it working now? Nam Shastam Manamapi Sachiputra Matra Sarupam Rupam Tazajatam Rupurim Maturim Vaishnavate Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasya Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Guru Tam Natosme Vancha Kalpatubhas Cha Kapasindubhyeva Cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So, first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudevs, Vishnupad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, Shri Nitilila Vrishti Gaura Govinda Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Gosai Maharaj, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Yes, Mukunda, I have a microphone. I'll use it tomorrow. So, by Krishna's grace and by the grace of Sanatana Goswami, we heard Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I think maybe a month or more than a month. So now we'll start Jaiva Dharma. So if we start now, maybe we can finish by the end of Chaturmas. Beautiful book, Jaiva Dharma. Guru Maharaj said he read it through 100 times before he translated it from Bengali to Hindi, 100 times. So he had to read it 100 times. Imagine how many times we have to hear. My Bhaktivinoda Thakura is like a bee, which a bee takes many things from many scriptures, the essence, and collects that into the form of honey. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura has gone many, especially the Bhagavatam, the writings of the 6 Goswamis, other tantras, Upanishads, and he collected so much nectar put in one place. That is Jaiva Dharma. So Guru Maharaj would say, no need to read many books. You just read this. Also, I found in my life, any question you have, the answer is there in Jaiva Dharma. So this was written in 1896, so 124 years ago. So no need too much of introduction. I think we all know Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura said, here's the perfect bridge between the modern speculator and the ancient Vedic system. Means how the ordinary person, puffed up by material education and bewildered by so many different ideas, how he can cross and enter into the Vedic understanding, that is by the bridge of the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakura. So no need too much introduction. We'll try and do a chapter a day. We'll try and do. Of course, some chapters are longer and more intense. Other chapters a little easy. So we'll try and do a chapter a day. We'll make our way through it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura begins from here in India. The ancient name of India is Bharatvarsh. There are 14 planetary sections. We are Bhumandal, the place of birth and death. So it said on the southern side of the Himalaya is Bharatvarsh, and the topmost place in Bharatvarsh or India, that is called Gaura bhumi. Gaura bhumi means this 56 square miles, Gaura mandal. No, that's around, if Navadvipa is like the center of a flower, then the 56 square miles surrounding, 56 cores, that is called Gaura mandal. It said the demigods see every living entity residing within Gaura mandal as having eternally liberated four-handed form. So we'll describe that later. No? So in this topmost place of India, that is called Gaura Mandal, Gaura Desh. In the center, like a kanika, like the center of a flower, is the 9 islands called Navadvipa. There the Ganga flows. Yesterday was the appearance of the Ganga. That was Dussehra. So the Ganga flows in many streams, in many ways, through these 9 islands, because she does not wish to leave Navadvipa very quickly. So another name of the Ganga is called the Bhagirati. Yesterday was that subject matter. Before the Ganga was only in the celestial planets, but there was one king named Sagamaj. His 60,000 sons were killed, burnt to death by one incarnation of God called Kapila Bhagavan. So Sagamaj was thinking how my sons can be liberated. Then he heard if the Ganga touches the ashes of their bodies, they can be saved. So Sagamaj did austerities. He could not bring the Ganga. He died. His son Dilip performed austerities. He could not bring the Ganga. He died. But his son Bhagirati, he brought the Ganga to this earth planet. Therefore, another name of the Ganga is Bhagirati. So, in ancient times, many, many people would perform worship of the Supreme Lord in that holy place. Especially one of the 9 islands is called Godrumdvip. If you go there, today you can still see the place where Bhaktivinoda Thakura wrote this Jaiva Dharma. That is called Surabhi Kunj. In ancient times, one sacred cow named Surabhi, who Indra, with her help, offered prayers to Krishna to please her, to please Krishna. Therefore, Surabhi herself gave Krishna the name Govinda. So after that, Surabhi came to Navadvipa and was doing worship there. At a place nearby, there is one Prajumna Kunj that is previously inhabited by one eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya named Prajumna Brahmachari. He was a great devotee of Lord Nrsingadev. So it said Lord Nrsingadev would personally talk with him, Prajumna Brahmachari, and out of affection Mahaprabhu gave him the name Nrsimhananda Brahmachari. So Nrsimhananda and Prajumna, these are the same person. So Prajumna Brahmachari had one Shiksha disciple. Shiksha Guru means someone whom one takes instruction from. So Nrsimhananda Brahmachari or Prajumna Brahmachari, he had a disciple named Premdas Paramahamsa Babaji. He was living there, and he was worshipping Lord Chaitanya Radha Krishna in his own kunj. So Premdas Babaji was a great scholar. So every day he would read one book called Prema Vivata. It's just there on my table. That is written by Sri Jagadananda Pandit. He is also a great associate of Lord Chaitanya that have the essence of all Lord Chaitanya's teachings. So Harikatha is the life and soul of even the perfected devotees. In fact, that is one symptom of Vaishnava. Madkata mrista shravanti katayanti cha. Surrender to Krishna and have so much taste in hearing, especially hearing and speaking about Krishna. So even in the stage of perfection, one does not give up the 9 limbs of devotion, especially Katha. So every day, Babaji Maharaj would chant 200,000 names of Krishna. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is 16 names. Right? If we chant one mala, 16 times 108, so many thousand names. If you chant 16 mala, that's like 16,000, right? Anyway, if you chant 100,000 names, that's 64 rounds. So if we chant 128 rounds of japa, that is 200,000 names. Maybe in our lifetime we've done it a few times on a very good day. some Govardhan Purika. Maybe we can manage one day, then 5-6 days we're finished. No? But every day he would chant 2 lakh Harinam, and every day he would read from this Prem Vivata. No? How he would, then you would say, if he's fully absorbed in chanting the holy names and speaking about Krishna, how he survived? No, he would survive by Madhukari. He would collect donations from the houses of the cowherd men. Even today, this Godrum is so many cowherd people. So he would collect some yogurt and milk and things, some sabjis. And when he was not busy chanting and not collecting something, then his spare time he would not gossip, he would read this Prem Vivata. At that time, like bees attracted to a lotus, many Vaishnavas would come to hear. And Babaji Maharaj would read Prem Vivata with tears flowing down from his eyes. No? And why not? This Prem Vivata contained the essence of pure devotion to Krishna, Prema Bhakti. So when the Vaishnavas would hear the very sweet voice of Prem Das Babaji, then the fire of material existence would be extinguished, and also they would feel like their hearts were being showered with nectar. So one afternoon, after completing his Harinam, Babaji Maharaj was reading Prem Vivata. No? That time, one sannyasi came. Okay, we'll try and explain everything from beginning. Sannyasi means like monk, the 4th order of life. No? Who completely renounce all attachment to wealth and the opposite sex. No? So, this sannyasi came. Babaji Maharaj did not know him, and he fell flat at the feet of Babaji Maharaj, offering his prostrated obeisances for a long time. But Babaji Maharaj was fully absorbed in reading Prem Vivata. He could not understand that sannyasi was there. So when he came to consciousness, Gurudev would be like that. When Gurudev would read also, you see, he'd forget everything. He'd not know anyone who is doing what. So that time, when he came to consciousness and saw this sannyasi laying at his feet, then Babaji thought himself very humble and most fallen naturally. Even though the Vaishnava, the devotee, is the greatest, they always consider themselves the least. When he saw this person bowing at his feet, he began to weep. Oh Chaitanya, oh Nityananda, please save me. That time that sannyasi said, oh, I am the most worst. I am very vile. So the sannyasi again touched the feet of Paramahamsa Babaji Maharaj and put the foot dust of pure devotee on his head. Because no other way to become free from unwanted things and to achieve love of Krishna than the foot dust of the devotee. So Babaji Maharaj offered him a seat and asked, Prabhu, how can I serve you? What do you want? So that sannyasi began telling his life history. Oh, Lord and Master, I am most unfortunate. I wasted my life. How? Many years I spent in Varanasi and other holy places. What did I do there? So much debating, analytical conclusions of different scriptural branches. The Vedas contain many branches of knowledge. Krishna says, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, come on brain. Krishna says mostly the Vedas deal with external knowledge. So, that time, especially 6 branches of Vedic knowledge are famous. Sankhya. Sankhya means to count. By examining the material elements, counting. I am not earth, I am not water, I am not fire, I am not air, I am not ether, I am not the mind, I am not the intelligence, I am not the senses of seeing, tasting. Like this, what is left? The soul. So Sankhya. Patanjali, Yoga. Nyaya, logic and argument. What's in your pocket? Nothing. No, nothing is a something like this. Nyaya, logic and argument. Vaisheshika, atomic theory. Purva Mimamsa. Purva mantra means Vedanta. And Uttara Mimamsa. Okay, two branches of the Vedanta. And also I studied all the Upanishads. Okay, there's 108 main Upanishads. That which brings you near to Ishvara, that is called Upanishad. So I spent so much time studying the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutras. 12 years ago I accepted sannyas from Sachidananda Saraswati. So having accepted the vow of lifelong celibacy, I traveled to all the holy places. And wherever I went, I also kept the association of the followers of Sankara. So that means this sannyasi was complete impersonalist or Mayavadi. Okay, from this we'll have to learn very strongly in the beginning. What is Mayavad? Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Bhakti Pragyan Kesam Goswami Maharaj said, as long as there is a smell of Mayavad in the heart, you cannot practice or preach pure devotion. So Mayavad means the philosophy that the Supreme Lord is Maya. Everything is illusion. Well, I'm illusion, this world is illusion. Even Krishna and his activities, these are all also illusionary. So this philosophy is called Mayavad. And what is true? Only the non-differentiated, all-pervading, formless Brahman, that is true. What do they say? Brahma Satyam Jagat Mityam Brahma Jiva Eva Na Paraha. This world is false. The Jiva is what? The absolute truth. The Jiva is nothing else except that absolute truth. In other simple words, I am God. So, whole life he spent studying this, and 12 years he visited all holy places. Must be he met so many thousands of other saintly persons and always engaging in scriptural debate with them. No? So, sannyas is 4 stages: Kutichak, Bahuchak, right, and Hamsa. 3 stages. Kutichak means after accepting renounce, you can make one house on the outside of your village and you stay there. Bahudak, I forget what that means. Kutichak, Bahudak, Hamsa, like swan stage. He visits everywhere without any attachment. So 4 stages of sannyas. So finally he achieved the 4th level of the 4th order of life, the 4th level of sannyas, which is Paramahamsa. That means he took a vow of silence. Believe it or not, Damodar Maharaj also took a vow of silence. Like 4 or 5 months not spoke to anyone. No one can believe that though. So, because then you don't speak, and nothing to say, then always control mind and senses. Like this, that was his life. No? So he always studied he always contemplated the 4 statements. And at that time he was thinking these are the 4, what you call, Mahavakya, the great statements of the Vedas. Aham Brahmasmi, Pragyanam Brahma, Tattvamasi. So these 3 or 4 main ones. Aham Brahmasmi, Pragyanam Brahma, Tattvamasi. Savakalvimidam Brahma. Not mentioned, but 4 main things. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that same Brahman. Pragyanam Brahma, Brahma means pure knowledge, or pure knowledge is God, like that. Tattvamasi, I am also this. No? And Salva Kalavamidam, whatever you see, that is Brahman. Like these 4 things he was always thinking. However, no real happiness came to me, he said. Then one day he saw one Vaishnav sadhu. That devotee was loudly chanting the names of Krishna. That time, because he was meditating, silent meditation, he heard the voice. Actually said he was chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. This is called the Panchatattva, the 5 different features of the Absolute Truth. In simple language, Lord Chaitanya and his direct associates. So if new person watching this class and thinking, who is Lord Chaitanya, what's this? Then just be patient, because another 40 chapters will describe who they are. He just heard their names. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda. So that Paramahamsa, he opened his eyes and saw that devotee. Tears were pouring down his eyes. His voice was choked. He was dancing, and so again and again he fell on the ground, but he not felt any pain. Ordinary person falls on the ground, but no, only ecstasy. So this sannyasi, he saw this devotee chanting, and he'd spent many, many, many years in all type of scriptural knowledge and analysis and celibacy and different vows and holy places, but he not felt any real happiness. Then he saw this devotee just chanting and dancing. So because he saw that devotee for 1 second, he felt an indescribable happiness. Just for 1 second. That mystical experience was so powerful. He wanted to go and speak to that devotee, but he could not because he'd taken a vow of silence. Also, he thought, I am like Guru of the three worlds, I am God like this, why I speak to anyone? So, because of his conditioning, he did not approach the devotee. That time, why? That sannyasi, why I didn't speak to him? I am so foolish. No. Fire my rank and my status. Cursed in me. But since I saw that devotee, I don't know why, but my mind also always thinking of the feet of Lord Chaitanya. No, he just heard the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So he's always thinking of that name. Who is Sri Krishna Chaitanya? That thinking. So I then became obsessed. How can I find that devotee? So he looked everywhere, could not find. No, because what he felt just by seeing him, he never felt in whole life. Then he thought, if I feel, just by seeing him, I feel it. Imagine if I speak with him, if I serve him, if I follow him, what I will feel. So that time he also began chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I thought, I also must find, if I cannot find that devotee, I should find a devotee who is same as him. So this sannyasi said, I left Varanasi. I went to Vrindavan Dham. I saw many Vaishnavas there. And what they were doing, they were crying and chanting, Jai Sirupa, O Sanatana Goswami, O Jiva Goswami. These are the followers of Lord Chaitanya. Because I think Rupa and Sanatana and Jiva Goswami must have just left this world. No? Therefore, in separation, the devotees were crying. They were all absorbed in meditation on the pastimes of Radha Krishna. And they were rolling on the ground and they would chant, Navadvipa, Navadvipa. No? Because only Navadvipa gives relief from this feeling of separation of Radha Krishna's pastimes. So when I saw this and heard this, then I also developed a desire. All these devotees want to go to Navadvipa. Means they remember Navadvipa. I want to visit Navadvipa, where Lord Chaitanya was born. So just by seeing a devotee, how much good fortune came to him. That's why it said, seeing a Vaishnava is the beginning of all good fortune. It said, when one sees a Vaishnava, that time his period of material existence is finished. It says in Bhagavatam. You cannot remember any verses these days, but just take my word for it. So just by seeing a Vaishnava, the one cycle of birth and death is finished. Question is, we are seeing many Vaishnava, but we are not feeling any of these things like he is feeling, no? Because this sannyasi, his heart have no like many desire for this or desire for that. So his heart is like clean in one. So he just see Vaishnava and many, many things come in his heart. So when he heard this, he walked around 168 square miles of Vrindavan Parikram. Then he came to Mayapur just a few days ago, Navadvipa. When he entered the city of Mayapur, then many devotees, he heard many people talking about the glories of Premdas Babaji. So I heard your name, and I've come now to become your servant. So Paramahamsa Babaji, Premdas Paramahamsa Babaji, he heard this, he took a straw between his teeth. Oh Sannyasi Thakur, I am very useless. I wasted my life filling my stomach, sleeping and speaking useless things. It's true that I've taken up residence in this most holy place of Navadvipa, where Lord Chaitanya performed his pastimes, but I could not touch this prema. But you are very fortunate because you saw the Vaishnava and you felt the prema. But many years I could not feel. You have gotten the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So please be kind to me. So that time Babaji Maharaj embraced him. And when the sannyasi was embraced, again he felt that same happiness that he felt when he saw the Vaishnava. No? Sometimes when we first meet Vaishnava, we always feel some extraordinary thing. This Krishna giving us little mercy. We can little understand who they are. So, that sannyasi now, he understood this really Paramahamsa Babaji topmost level of Vaishnava. So he began dancing in ecstasy. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Prabhu Nityananda, Jai Premdas Guru, Jai Bhajanananda. Okay, meaning is clear. So Premdas Babaji and the sannyasi danced together and chanted the holy name for some time. No? When they stopped, they began speaking many things. This is guru and disciple relationship. No, we should always be careful that our relation with Gurudev is based on Harikatha, not some mundane thing. No? Otherwise, they may cheat us by not giving us Harikatha. So, Babaji said, please stay here a few days and purify me. That time, sannyasi said, what to speak of a few days, whole life I will spend with you. No? So sannyasi knew if you stay with Gurudev, all your questions can be answered. So with great happiness, he began to live there. After a few days, Babaji Maharaj said, oh, Sannyasi Thakur, my Gurudev gave me this place, gave me shelter at his lotus feet, and he lives nearby in a place called Devpali. No, that's where now the deity of Nrsingadev is. Devpali. We go there on Navadvipa Parikram. Okay, Devpali. Why? Even though he's a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, but his Ishtadev is Lord Nrsingadev. No, many people think all devotees of Lord Chaitanya are gopis, but that is stupid. That is foolish. Because Pradyumna Brahmachari, he is also a devotee, he is the eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya, but he feels so much feeling for Nrsingadev. He feels always Nrsingadev has come as a sannyasi. That is how he sees Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya always reciprocates with our mood inside. So if someone love Nrsingadev, then why Lord Chaitanya will be angry? Because Lord Chaitanya is Nrsingadev. No difference. Many, many subtle things are in Jaiva Dharma. Many, many subtle things. Therefore we have to read again and again, otherwise we miss it. So Paramahamsa Babaji said, let's go and see my Gurudev. So he went there. So after 2 o'clock, they crossed the Alkananda. They came to Devpali. There, Paramahamsa Babaji saw his Gurudev and did dandavats, pranams. Pradyumna Brahmachari came out of the temple. That same temple, Nrsingadev is still there. Right? He's been worshipped there since Satyuga. So when Pradyumna Brahmachari saw his disciple, his heart melted with affection. And he lifted his disciple up and embraced him. They began discussing, again, topics of Krishna. So sannyasi was watching all this. Oh, then he learned how I should also behave with my Gurudev. This is some Vaishnava etiquette. No? So, sannyasi Thakur bowed to Pradyumna Brahmachari. Pradyumna Brahmachari, oh, you are very lucky, you have a qualified Guru, my disciple. So this is all Vaishnava etiquette. We should learn. Paramahamsa Babaji took his disciple to the high Vaishnava. But high Vaishnava not said, oh, now this is all my enjoyment. No, this is your Gurudev. This is all Vaishnava etiquette. No. Sometimes we think like that. We want to jump over Gurudev and go to some high Vaishnava. That is not proper. Under shelter of Gurudev, we go to Vaishnava. Like this. No? Okay. Anyway. So many things we can learn just by looking at Jaiva Dharma. So, Kiva Viprat Kibonasi Sudra Kenanaya Krishna Tatravati Se Guru Hoy. So Prajumna Brahmachari said you would always study Premavata under the guidance of your Guru. So Sannyasi Thakur said, Prabhu, O Nrsimha Brahmachari, you are the eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. You can purify millions of sannyasis like me. So before, Sannyasi Thakur had never seen how Vaishnavas deal with each other. So he was watching all this and learning. So this is called sadachar, proper Vaishnava etiquette. We also have to learn, no? Otherwise, many people come in the association of Vaishnavas, but they don't know how properly to give respect to what Vaishnav, to Guru Dev, to Shiksha Guru. Then they make offenses and one day they have to go. No? So he also watching everything very carefully. Oh, I should also do like this. So, naturally by staying with Gurudev, hearing and learning so much, already the sannyasi had full control over his mind and senses. And he was established in the non-dual concept of the absolute truth. But he also had now developed so much faith in Krishna and the Vaishnavas and Lord Chaitanya. So one day, one morning, very special thing came. That time, early morning, he saw his Gurudev, Paramahamsa Babaji, chanting Harinam on his Tulsi Mala. That time was early morning, that is Nishanta Lila. Nisha means night time. Nishanta means end of night pastimes. Just before the sun rises. We call that, what's it called? Brahma Muhurta. Devotees should be very serious to always try and wake up in Brahma Muhurta. So that is the very favorable time for bhajan. Gaugamaj explained that at that time there is no, all materialist is sleeping, so there's no sat rajagun or tamagun. That time is sudagun. That time is sattvagun, very easy to control mind and senses at this time. Right? If we chant Harinam early morning, very easy, but you pick up your mala at 10 or 11, very hard, because rajagun is so much strong that time. So that time, the pastimes of Radha Krishna were gradually awakening in the heart of Paramahamsa Babaji as he sat and was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the sannyasi was nearby watching. And Babaji Maharaj did not have any external sense. So sannyasi was watching how my Gurudev is absorbed in Harinam. That time early in the morning, Radha Krishna have to go their separate places. They do not wish to leave each other. No, but they are forced, otherwise pastime is finished. No. That time Radharani has to give up Krishna and go back to Yavat, the place of her husband and mother-in-law, and Chatila, Katila and others. So Radharani also with so much separation. And Krishna also, he have to go back. Krishna also in separation. So the devotees of Krishna, devotees of Radharani also feel separation. If Radharani is crying, that means everyone is also crying. No? Just like little experience, our hearts are like stone, but sometimes, very rarely, Gurudev would cry. No? Sometimes, when Gurudev, especially remember his Gurudev, he would cry. That time, everyone else also cried. Gurudev was crying, they would also cry. So, Babaji Maharaj also feeling so much separation, no? And tears of love were flowing from his eyes. That time, also in his eternal form, Babaji Maharaj also serving Radha Krishna. Must be Babaji Maharaj also Madhurya Rasa, otherwise how he's serving Radha Krishna. So, that time, the soul also has a body, that is called Siddha Deha, and in that soul's eternally perfected form, we're serving the spiritual forms of Radha Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura give this concept right in the beginning of Jaiva Dharma. Sometimes people would criticize our Gurudev. Why Srila Narayan Maharaj speaking pastimes of Radha Krishna to new people? Sometimes foolish persons would say. But Bhaktivinoda Thakura doing exactly the same thing and more. Because Guru Maharaj would say, unless you understand where is your goal, then you cannot do any practice at all. Our goal is not just to become free from lust or greed or control our senses or only sleep 5 hours a day or don't eat too much. This is not our goal. Our goal is the service of Radha Krishna. Lokavattu lila kaivalya prayojanam. Our prayojanam, our goal, to enter the pastimes of Radha Krishna. So this given in the first chapter of Jaiva Dharma. The end result of Jaiva Dharma is given in the first chapter. The goal. So, just like when we go to the airport, where you want to go? I don't know. Yeah, you're crazy, no? Before you go to the airport, before you buy a ticket, you have an idea where I want to go. So in the beginning, Bhaktivinoda Thakura, where we want to go? We want to enter the pastimes of Radha Krishna. That is perfection. And of course, the process to get there, well, that is another story. But we should know where we're going. That time he fully absorbed in his internal consciousness, completely unaware of his material body or surroundings. That time, one monkey is there. Kakati. That monkey making some noise to wake up Radha Krishna, disturb Radha Krishna. It's a little off topic. One time Gurudev was speaking Katha, and Vichitri was shouting something. Gurudev said, "There's the old monkey, Vichitri." So that old monkey's name is Kakati. Therefore, monkey is making some noise to wake up Radha Krishna. But Babaji Maharaj is there. So he said, look, Lalita Sakhi will become angry. Well, Lalita Sakhi will become angry with me. Because Lalita Sakhi in charge of all the manjaris. If manjari do something wrong, then Lalita, give them some chastisement. Lalita Sakhi will be angry with me. Look, Ananga Manjari is signaling, you do that. You stop that monkey. You are Raman Manjari. And this is your service. Quickly do it. Saying this, Babaji Maharaj fell unconscious. No? So this is old mystic. No? Babaji Maharaj indicating to the sannyasi, your name is Raman Manjari. That is your seva. Means morning time, don't disturb Radha Krishna's. That is your seva. So Babaji Maharaj sannyasi, he now understands, who am I? I am Raman Manjari. Why? Gurudev said so. Gurudev gave my identity. Gurudev gave my service. So it's very extraordinary thing. So that time the sun rose and Babaji Maharaj gradually came to external senses. Okay, we almost finished this chapter. Okay, we're doing nicely. So Babaji Maharaj was there sitting and chanting. Sannyasi came and did pranam and asked, "Oh Prabhu, this worthless soul wishes to ask you some question. Please give me some answer. Please give the mood of Braj in my heart. My heart has been burnt by non-dual knowledge, Brahmagyan. Brahmagyan means you are God. So if you're always thinking you are God, how are you going to serve God? Who is left to serve? No one. So this type of knowledge, Brahmaikya Sarupa Gyan, where we think, I am God, I am Brahman, I am one, I am not different than Krishna. This knowledge burns the heart and completely destroys devotion. Therefore, whole life I spent trying to get this knowledge. So my heart is dry like a stone. So please, you give me one taste of Vrindavan. What is service to Krishna? So Babaji Maharaj said, I will try and answer. So Sannyasi asked him some questions. So quickly we'll go through. For a long time I heard, what is Dharma? Also, many people have asked, what is Dharma? What is religion? So, many people gave many different answers, right? In this world you ask, what is religion? Christians saying something, Muslims saying something, Ram Krishna Mission saying something, who else? What else is there? Millions. Yogis saying something, huh? Buddhists saying something, atheists saying something, enjoyers saying something. Everyone have a different opinion. Right? Opinion are like elbows. Everybody has at least two or three. No? So many people give different answers, conflicting answers. What is religion? What is Dharma? So please tell me, what is the Dharma of all souls? Why are different people explaining Dharma in many different ways? If Dharma is one, why everyone is not teaching the same thing? No? How many people can answer that question in this world? No one. So Babaji Maharaj meditated on the feet of Bhagavan Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya's mercy, very impossible things become easy to understand. Oh, so I will explain. An object is, every object is called a vastu. Object is, in Sanskrit, is called vastu. What's this tilak bowl? It's a vastu. What's this watch? Vastu. Right? So, an eternal object also has an eternal dharma. Nature arises from the structure of an object, the gatana. Right? It's pretty self-explanatory. No? Nature arises from the construction of an object. Right? Like this spoon is constructed from steel, so therefore it's hard. So by Krishna's desire, when every object is created, then that nature is inherent within an object. In simple language, every object is defined by its nature. Okay? That nature is called the dharma of the object. So every object have a dharma or have a nature. And every object is defined by its nature. Like water is defined by its nature of liquidity, cement is defined by its nature of being hard. Air is defined of its nature of carrying fragrances or carrying heat or carrying cold. So, every object has an eternal nature. But when that nature becomes distorted, when a change happens within the object, whether by force of circumstance or due to contact with other objects. So when so sometimes that nature becomes distorted or changed. No? Bhaktivinoda Thakura describe everything. No need me to give too much commentary. So sometimes the changed nature becomes permanent. No? And that appears to be the real nature, but it's not. It's just temporary. So the distorted nature sometimes appears to become the eternal nature of an object. But this distorted nature is not the real nature of an object. It is called nisarga, a temporary transformation. That which is acquired through long-term association. This transformation in nisarga then occupies the place of the real nature, and that becomes identified as the swabhav. The temporary distorted nature, the nisarga, then becomes identified as the real nature when it's not the real nature of something. For example, water is an object or vastu, and its quality, its nature is to be liquid. But when water is frozen, due to contact with some other object, it becomes frozen. The acquired nature of being solid then replaces the eternal nature or inherent nature to be of liquidity. So in reality, this acquired nature is not real, not eternal. It is occasional or temporary. It arises because of some cause. When that cause is no longer effective, this acquired nature vanishes automatically. Like you take water, you put it in the freezer. Because of contact with the freezer, it takes on a temporary and opposite nature, nisarga. But when the cause of that transformation is removed, then it again reverts back to its original state. You take the ice cube out of the freezer and put it back in room temperature, again it comes back to water nature. Okay. So, every object's nature is eternal. However, it may become distorted, yet still connected with the object. Okay? So the nature of an object is called the nitya dharma, the eternal nature, the eternal function. And the acquired nature, the temporary nature, the nisarga, the transformation, that is called naimitic dharma. Okay, so just remember these two terms: eternal real nature, nitya dharma; temporary transformation, naimitic dharma. Nitya and naimitic. Okay, easy. So to have true knowledge of an object, you should know the difference between the nitya dharma and the naimitic dharma. Those who lack this knowledge consider the naimitic dharma to be the nitya dharma. Okay, very easy, he explains. So sannyasi asked, if every object is called vastu, what is the meaning of its nature, swabhav? So in Sanskrit, vastu means vas, which means to exist or dwell. No, like we say, where are you? I'm living in Braj. I'm Brajabas. So bas means to live, to exist, to dwell. So bas means to live, to exist. No? So bas is, when you add the suffix to, vastu, then that becomes a noun. Okay. So that which exists, or that which is self-evident, that is called a vastu. So whatever we see which exists, that is called vastu. In other words, whatever exists is called a vastu. So everything is one vastu. But there are two types of vastu: vastav and avastav. Vastav refers to that which is transcendental. A vastu, vastavik vastu, transcendental object. And avastavik
What is transcendental?
vastavik. Vastavik. Real. Vastu. Vastavik vastu means transcendental object. Avastavik vastu means non-transcendental or material object. Okay? So two type of vastus, two type of objects: transcendental and material. Vastavik vastu and avastavik vastu. For example, whatever you see in the material world is temporary. That is called avastavik vastu. And that which is transcendental, which now we cannot see, that is called vastavik vastu. So, avastavik vastu, temporary objects, such as solid objects, qualities, and so on. These also have qualities. But these avastavik vastu, temporary objects, their existence is not real. Well, because sometimes it exists and sometimes doesn't exist. Like when we die, this body, now it's existing. When we die and all the elements go to its respective places, then it doesn't exist anymore. So, Vedya Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadam. So we should know what is the Vastavik Vastu, what is the true and eternal object. True and eternal object, the Vastavik Vastu. Okay. So the only real object is that which is related to the supreme transcendental truth, Bhagawan. Right? Because Bhagawan is eternally existing. So here the Vastavik Vastu, and everything we see in this world cannot be the Vastavik Vastu, it must be temporary Vastavik Vastu. So Bhagawan is the only real Vastavik Vastu. And the Jiva is a distinct part of that Vastavik Vastu. So, and the illusion which produces bewilderment is the energy of that Vastavik Vastu. So three things Bhaktivinoda Thakura discussing. The non-changing, transcendent, independent entity, Bhagavan, his part, the Jiva, and the energy of Bhagavan that is called illusion. Okay. So Vastu refers to these three because all three are eternal. Right? Bhagavan is eternal, that which is related to Bhagavan is eternal. Okay, that it was Maya is also eternal, right? Because it's related to Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, the Jiva, and illusion, Maya. These three are known as the Vastavik Vastu. And knowledge of these three is called pure Gyan, Sudha Gyan. So, there are innumerable apparent representations of these three principles. These are all regarded as avastavik vastu, unreal circumstances. Hey, you can talk later. So the real quality of any object. Hey, can you talk later? Really, seriously. Okay. Have to concentrate a lot for Jaiva Dharma. So, the real qualities of any Vastavik Vastu, that gives the identity, right? The qualities give the identity of the Vastavik Vastu. So the Jiva is eternal, and his eternal characteristics are his true nature. So Sannyasi asks, I want to understand this deeply. So Babaji Maharaj says, you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Srupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas Krishna Tatasta Shakti Beda Bed Prakash. The real nature of all souls is to be an eternal servant of Krishna. He is the marginal potency of Krishna, and he is a transformation of Krishna, simultaneously one with and different from him. Krishna Boli Se Jiva Nadi Bayar Mukha, Ateva Maya Tari Deya Samsarari Dukkha. The Jiva who has forgotten, the soul who has forgotten Krishna, has become absorbed in the external energy since time without beginning. Consequently, Maya gives him misery in the form of repeated material existence. Okay, everyone understand? So who's the Vastavik Vastu? Damayanti? Yeah, right, thanks. So Krishna is the complete transcendental Vastu, the Chid Vastu. Krishna is compared to the sun. No? The sun has some rays, these are like the Jivas. No? The Jivas are uncountable and innumerable. When we hear that the Jivas are part of Krishna, doesn't mean they have come from Krishna and Krishna has decreased. No. It's not like pieces of stone which come from a mountain. You take a piece of stone from the mountain decreases. So when it says the souls are parts of Krishna, doesn't mean they are what? Separate parts. It does not mean that Krishna decreases by the emanations of his jivas. Although innumerable jivas emanate from the Chid Vastu, the eternal transcendental subject, Krishna, Krishna does not decrease. For this reason, the Vedas have said the jivas are like spark from a fire. Okay, this is a material comparison, but we have to have some idea in this world. Whether you compare to the jivas like spark from a fire, or like atomical particles within the sun rays, or gold produced from a mystic jewel. No? There's a jewel called Chintamani. If you touch the jewel to metal, the metal becomes gold, but the jewel does not decrease. No? So whatever way you understand, it's okay. But the real nature of the soul is revealed in the heart only when all these material conceptions are given up. Okay, so we'll just confirm here. Bhaktivinoda Thakura is giving a summary. Krishna is the infinite spiritual substance, the Brihat Chit Vastu. Where the souls, the individual souls, are infinitesimal spiritual substance, Anu Chit Vastu. Therefore, there's a difference between Krishna and the soul. What is that? Krishna is unlimited and the soul is limited. The oneness of Krishna and the souls lies in their spiritual nature, because they are one in quality. But nonetheless, there also exists a difference between them. Because the nature of Krishna is always complete, but the nature of the soul is incomplete. That will all be explained later. Krishna is the master, and the souls are the eternal servants. Krishna is unlimited, the souls are limited. Krishna is perfect, and the nature of the souls is imperfect. Therefore, the souls are also different from Krishna. This relationship is natural. Krishna is the attractor, the jivas are attracted. Right? I notice when you give class, you speak about everything, reincarnation, they won't accept. General thing you speak, but as soon as you mention this knowledge, 3/4 of the people just turn off. Cannot comprehend, don't try to understand. But Jaiva Dharma begins from this. That's why many people pick up Jaiva Dharma and cannot understand. They put it down again. So, Krishna is the enjoyer, the jiva is the enjoyed. Krishna is the attractor, the jivas are attracted. Krishna is the ruler, the jivas are ruled. Krishna is the witness, the jivas are the witnessed. Krishna is the whole, the jivas are poor and insignificant. Krishna has all potencies, the jivas have no potency, because the jiva is a potency, so he has no potency. Therefore, the eternal nature of the jiva is to be Krishna Das, the servant of Krishna. Already we heard every object has a nature. The soul is also one vastu. What is that? Anu, chit vastu, microscopic vastu. And what's his nature? The soul's nature to serve Krishna. So, Krishna has unlimited potencies. His full potency is called the Purna Shakti. You can see that in the spiritual world. So Krishna has an incomplete potency that is called the Tatastha Shakti, that manifests the individual souls. So, and another potency acts in manifesting the finite material world, that is the Maya Shakti. Right? So 3 potencies of Krishna. The complete Shakti, Purna Shakti, Maya Shakti, and the Tatastha Shakti. These 3. What does the Tatastha Shakti do? The Tatastha Shakti creates another Vastu, which exists between the spiritual world, the Chit Vastu, and the Achit Vastu. So what is the function? Everything has a function. So what's the function of the Tatastha Shakti? The Tatastha Shakti produces another Vastu. What is that Vastu? That Vastu is in the middle between the material world and the spiritual world. Okay. Therefore, the individual soul is not Chit Vastu. He's not full consciousness. And he's not Achit Vastu. He's not matter. He's somewhere in the middle. Okay. And that Tatastha Jiva can maintain a relationship in both the material world and the spiritual world. Pure transcendental entities are quite the opposite of inert matter and have no connection with them. So even though that we are animate spiritual particle, because we are not the complete Chit Vastu, we have some affiliation or some attraction towards the material energy. Right? The Chit Vastu, the complete Chit Vastu, Krishna has no attraction to Maya, no attraction to matter. But because we are not the full Chit Vastu, we are the, Bhaktivinoda Thakura called it the Anu-Chit Vastu, the minute conscious entity. We have attraction to Maya. So the Jiva can have attraction to the spiritual world and the material world. That's his nature. Okay. Therefore, how many times do we have to read Jaiva Dharma? Although the Jiva is an animate spiritual particle, he is capable of relationship with Maya, material matter, and also has capable relationship with the Chidvas, the Chidjagat, the spiritual world. The boundary region between land and water on a river is known as Tata or shore. Tata means, like beach. Like where the water meets the land, that is called Tata. And we are called Tatastha. We are situated in that marginal potency, and we manifested from that marginal potency. Because we are manifested from the marginal potency, we have the same nature. That is the job of the marginal potency, to manifest jivas with this nature. Okay, so this tata may be considered to be both land and water. Right? So actually there's no place. The land and the water, there's no actual place which is neither the land or the water. Right? So actually Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj said the Tatastha is not a place. It's a consciousness. Okay. Thus, Tata may be considered to be both land and water. In other words, it is situated in both. The divine Isa Shakti, the Icha Shakti, the divine desire of Krishna, gives the jivas this propensity. The jiva's nature is spiritual, but his nature is such that he can be controlled by matter. Therefore, the Bada Jiva, the conditioned soul, is not beyond all connection with matter, unlike the jivas in the spiritual world. Okay, but don't worry, Bhaktivinoda Thakura will describe all this. The conditioned soul is not beyond all connection with matter, unlike the souls in the spiritual world. Although the conditioned soul is distinct from matter because of his animate spiritual nature. Since the jiva is by nature different from both the spiritual entities and the dull world, he is classified as a separate principle, Tatastha. No? So even though there is nothing material in our nature, because we are souls, but we have a proclivity towards attraction towards material nature. Therefore, we are called a special type of jiva, the Bada Jiva. Yay! Get my t-shirt. No? Therefore, this eternal distinction between Bhagavan and the jiva must be accepted. Yes, you give this normal thing to people in the West, you speak this, how many people will understand? Even when we read it, we become bewildered just reading it. No? So deep, so transcendental. This is first chapter of Jaiva Dharma. Bhagavan is, what's the difference between the jiva and the Supreme Lord? Bhaktivinoda Thakura now describes the difference. The difference is Bhagavan is always the controller of illusion. It's under his full control. But the Tatastha Jiv, the Bada Jiv, in certain circumstances may be controlled by illusion. Because he is subject to its influence. That is our nature, to be influenced by that. Hence the three principles, Bhagavan, the individual soul, and Maya, are real and eternal. Of these three, Bhagavan is the supreme eternal principle, and the other two eternal principles, illusion and the individual souls, depend upon their existence upon Bhagavan. Therefore, Nityana, Nityo, Nityananam, Chetadas, Chetananam. Of all eternal objects, Krishna is eternal, supreme eternal, just here. And of all conscious entities, Krishna is the supreme conscious entity. Therefore, even though all souls and illusion are eternal also, still Krishna remains supreme, because both of them depend upon Krishna. The Jiva is by nature eternal servant of Krishna, and he is manifested from the marginal potency. From this we can understand that Jiva is eternally separate from Bhagavan. At the same time, he is not separate, because where else he comes from? Therefore, he is a manifestation which is both different and non-different. Beda Bed Prakash. So different, he is not different because he comes from Bhagavan. Where else he come from? Nowhere else. So not different. But difference is there. What is difference? Bhagavan is the controller of illusion, and we are controlled. We are attracted by illusion, but Bhagavan have no attraction to illusion in his nature. So that is big difference. The individual soul is subject to domination by Maya, whereas Bhagavan is the controller of Maya. Here lies an eternal distinction between the Jiva and Bhagavan. On the other hand, the Jiva is also a Chidvastu. Bhagavan is also a Chidvastu. No? But still there's a difference between them. So difference and non-difference. Okay. People asking questions. No, Anjali, the bank does not, the bank is real and the water is real, but the area between them there's no place that does not exist. No, it's a conception. It's a consciousness. Okay? Anyway, I can't get distracted by questions. We're almost finished this chapter. I recommend after every class, people sit down and while it's all fresh, just read this chapter quickly. Just take a few minutes. So, Bhagavan is Chidvastu, and the eternal entity is Chidvastu, but still there's a difference between them. So the eternal religion of all souls is servitude to Krishna. Why? Because he is great, we are small, we depend upon him for our existence, therefore we are his servants. When the individual soul forgets this, he becomes controlled by Maya. From the moment he becomes diverted from Krishna, he becomes controlled by illusion. Okay? The fall of the Jiva does not take place within the context of material time. When he fell down, no time. Because the Tatastha, this concept of Tatastha, that is beyond time. Time is only in the material world. And the Tatastha, which is beyond illusion, there is no time there. So you cannot trace out a time when he fell. No? So even though all souls are eternal, still inconceivably new souls also coming to this world always. New souls coming. New Bada Jivas coming. Just like when the prison empties, new prisoners come. So this material existence is eternal. Whether we stay in it eternally, that depends on us. Okay? So that's why it said the soul is called Anadhir Bainamuk. He is against Krishna. When? Since time without beginning. You cannot trace, because when the soul became averse to Krishna, that is beyond time. All this will be described later. That more our mind becomes free from attachment to this world, more we can enter into these transcendental subject matters. So, in a simple way, Gaura would explain, there has never been a time we have not forgotten Krishna. He used to say that. Never been a time we have not forgotten Krishna. We have been here eternally. We think like that. If we say like that, it's not wrong. Because the fall of the Jiva does not take place within the context of material time. So, therefore the words Anadi Bairmukh are used, meaning Jiva has been diverted since time without beginning. From the moment of this diversion of the Jiva's entry into Maya, his eternal nature becomes changed, perverted. That is called Nisarga. By the association of Maya, illusion, the Jiva develops Nisarga, a perverted, temporary, acquired nature. I am Damodar Maharaj. I am from Australia. This is mine. I am this. This is all Naimitic temporary Dharma. I am Muslim. I am Christian. I am Buddhist. I am atheist. I'm an enjoyer. Anything else except the conception I am Krishna Das, that is all Naimitic. That is all Visarga. That is all temporary. Saraswati Thakura said, Gaudiya Mata is here to declare war on all non-Krishna conceptions. He said like, declare war. Why? We say everything is for Krishna and they are objecting to that. We cannot tolerate any diminution of Krishna's enjoyment, therefore we fight. Saraswati Thakur's language. So, let me read that again, one paragraph left. From the moment of his diversion and the Jiva's entry into Maya, his eternal nature becomes perverted, transformed. By the association of illusion, the Jiva develops nisarga, an acquired nature, which thus facilitates the display of his temporary function and disposition known as naimitic dharma. The nitya dharma of all souls is one, indivisible and pure. But the naimitic, the temporary dharma, the temporary nature, assumes many different forms when seen in many, because there's so many diverse circumstances. And when people with many different perverted natures describe, it becomes many. So the real nature is one without a second. No? But who can understand that? Only someone who is free from illusion. And who's that? Very rare. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakura said, the perfect opinion of a liberated soul in China has no difference from the perfect opinion of a liberated soul in Japan, or the perfect opinion of a liberated soul in Africa or India or anywhere else, because the real nature is one, not two. Thus, Babaji Maharaj stopped speaking and began chanting Harinam. Because everything cannot be described. The disciple has to hear and meditate and think also, to realize. Sannyasi did Dandavad. I shall think about all these things today. Tomorrow I have any question, I shall ask. That's why first is hearing. No? Madhusudana Maharaj give example like when Gokana spoke the Bhagavatam, then thousands and thousands of different persons were there, all housewives and sadhus. At the end of the 7 days, only Dundakari was liberated. Only he went back to Godhead. Only he achieved his eternal nature and went back to Vaikuntha. So Gokana was astonished. He asked Bhagavan, but Bhagavan, the katha was the same for everyone. Same guru, same katha, same place. Only one person got the result and went back to Godhead. Why everyone else did not get? Then Bhagavan answered, because they're hearing, but everything going in one ear and out the other. They're not thinking. They're not contemplating. But everything Gokana heard, Dundakari heard in the class, nighttime he meditating and thinking of that. Therefore he gets some realization. Our problem is, we're in Katha. Maharaj always says, no? We are sitting in Katha, but Katha is not sitting in us. So not just we hear something, no, at that time we should also deeply think about it. That is our fault. We are not doing that. Therefore, Shrintvatam, Shradhanitatam, Gunatas, Chasvachastatam. 5 things should be done. Hearing and also Swachastatam. What we hear, we should also practice. So, okay. So, Babaji Maharaj said, Sannyasi said, I heard everything. I'll think and ask some questions later. Okay, today is Ekadasi, Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi. Some people do Nirjal. Why? When Krishna said everyone have to do Nirjal, then Bhimsen said, Bhagavan, that's impossible. Bhimsen could eat so much. Bhimsen's nickname was Vikroda, I think. It's had like a wolf in his stomach. That was his name, Vikroda. Like a wolf, how eat? So fast. So he had a hunger like that. He could eat unlimited amounts. So when Bhagavan said everyone have to do Ekadasi, then he said, please Bhagavan, not possible for me. So Bhagavan said, okay, you just have to do one Ekadasi a year. This one, Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi. And then you get the result of doing all Ekadasis. So many people in India, I know also many devotees think, oh, I just do this Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi, then I get the result of all Ekadasis. Guru Maharaj says, no. Krishna gave that benediction especially to Bhimsen, not to everyone, just to Bhimsen. No? So we shouldn't think I'll also just do once again. Still, if you do, it's nice, it's okay. But don't think I just do this one and then I don't have to do the others. No? So today is Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi, Hare Krishna. So everyone again, read this chapter 1. You know, then this thing will sit inside you. Okay. If someone has some question, they can write, but I won't answer now. The next class will be day after tomorrow. Go Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaura, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Go Premanandi.